אוקיי, ערב טוב, כאן שושנה וג מהתוכנית ספרות על הכוונת ברשת המקוונת. התוכנית היא במסגרת ערוץ השירה בישראל, שאני מנהלת אותה יחד עם ציפי שחרור, ואני רוצה לציין את זה, כי לשמחתי גם יש לנו אתר מאוד גדול, שנבנה בימים האלה, ואני עכשיו נפגשת עם ג'יל שרון מקרמן? קימלמן, סורי, היא מארצות הברית, והיא תספר לנו, ואנחנו נדבר עליה קצת בשידור הזה. I will read now a few things about you in Hebrew, and I will introduce you. Good evening, Jill. I'm happy to interview with you and to say a few things about you. So you were nominated, היית מועמדת לפרס פשטרט? פסקארט?
A pushcart prize?
אוקיי.
Yes.
זה היה פרס לשירה ברשת, באינטרנט, לשנת 2018. היא מפרסמת באתרים רבים ברשת, באינטרנט, ויטה, ברוויס פרס, ספילבורדס פרס, ועוד ועוד אתרים שבהם היא מפרסמת. התשוקות שלה כוללות קריאה בקול רם, בישול מהלב, תיאטרון, דיונים מלאי חיים על ספרים וצילום. היא גרה בדלבר, you live in Delver?
Yes, the home of our new president, yes.
Yes, of Biden, the home of Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. עם בעלת טים, ועם, you are mother for Jordan.
Yes, my son's name is Jordan,
Okay.
yes.
השירה של, כמו שתשמעו כמה קטעים ממנה, של ג'יל שרון קימלמן, היא שירה עכשווית, היא מצאה את הבמות שלהן, היא תוכל לחמוק מחיי היומיום שלה, וכנראה שהכתיבה עבורה היא תרפויט, היא מנחמת את החברה שלה באחד השירים, שאנחנו נשמע אותו בהמשך, ובשירים אחרים היא מבטאת געגועים לאהובים יקרים שלה, אני תרגמתי כמה שירים שלה, שאני אשמיע אותם בהמשך הערב, אבל אני עכשיו אעבור לשוחח עם ג'יל. ג'יל, I'm going to speak to you now. We will have a small talk about you. Tell me, how did you start to write? When did you start to write? What is the motivation to write? Because I see that you're not lately you started to write.
I started writing when I was 4 years old. I read because my mother read to me, and that was a great joy for me. By the time I was 4, I had taught myself to read, and I had all the children's books, but one of my favorite books was a large coffee table poetry book, and it had pictures by Renoir and by Van Gogh, and it had poems on every page opposite the paintings. And I was thrilled and overwhelmed. And I looked at that book until I was 7. And then
Jill, I can ask you, Jill, you can move because you are just in the right too much. You have to move more into the center a little bit.
Sure.
The other side. That side. Yeah, correct. That's right. Yes. Perfect. That's perfect.
Good. Okay. So when I was 7, I wrote my first poem, and it was about God, and it wasn't anything special, and it certainly did not predict a career in poetry. But I did theater, I did writing, I did journalism throughout my early years. Then I always thought I would become a lawyer. It turned out that I really didn't want to be a lawyer, and I didn't want to go to law school. So I went to hotel school, and I graduated, met my first husband. We went into business within 6 months of our marriage, and that business we worked together very hard. and I was in the culinary arts for several decades. I've done everything from designing an event that had nothing on hand, no electricity, no space to cook food. Everything had to be brought in. I've done events for very famous celebrities like Princess Diana and Julia Roberts. I've done film styling. We've sold desserts to restaurants. And at the age of 23, I began a company called Catering by Jill in Virginia. And it was fun. I had a great time. I worked very, very hard, probably 16 hours a day, if not more. And I did everything but be in the kitchen myself. But I'm trained as a chef and I'm trained as an events designer.
Wow.
When I became ill in the early part of 2000, I was forced to stop working completely. So I started looking inside for that long shuttered part of me that started to awaken when I was 7, and it was still there, Shosh. It was still there. So
You know, I want to comment something. Uh, when you have a talent about writing, about some kind of art, and it is inside you, it will come out in a way. It doesn't stay in your side. So it's not surprisingly.
right. So I knew that I couldn't survive living on the money that poets do not get. But I honed my craft for about 10 years, learning, exposing myself, not writing in a vacuum, learning to critique, learning to self critique as well as others. And basically, my very first poem in print was called Dancing in the Kitchen. It's a beautiful crowd pleaser poem that everyone loves. And that poem had me nominated for a pushcart prize. That was extremely exciting. A pushcart prize in poetry as a nominee is something that you carry for the rest of your life. And basically, what it is small presses nominate you. They can nominate up to 6 artists per year, and they themselves must be nominated. So there's a plug for the literary magazine called Better Than Starbucks, who nominated me for a pushcart prize in poetry for Dancing in the Kitchen. And the following
Do
year,
you have the poem here? You can read it. You
I
can read
do.
it to us.
I do have the poem. Yes, I can
Can you
read
read
it.
it for us?
Dancing in the Kitchen.
Yes.
I
Yes.
have
So we
to.
will feel the why
Why don't
you did
we?
why you were nominated to
Why don't
the.
we end with that? Because I don't have it in front of me, but during the course of our interview, I'll locate it. So if we
Okay,
may, I'll
okay.
end with
But
that.
I want to read something to the audience because people from Israel are
Sure,
here, and I want to read one of your poem. So one of your poem
sure. I have
wrote for a
lots.
very best friend that
Okay.
you sent me, and you were thinking about a best friend,
Yes,
and
the
you are telling her
sisters.
a sisters. Yes,
That was a
sisters.
sister poem.
Yes, sister.
It's I have two sister poems. This is the one that I shared with you. I believe strongly in sisterhood and in friendship. There's a difference though. A friendship is something you carry throughout your life. They believe in you, you believe in them. It's very, very special, a special tie. But sisterhood is even more so. And this poem I wrote for my 5 friends who are sisters to me. I have a sister and I have a sister-in-law, and I love them more than anything. But this poem is for my friends who are my sisters. And it has a beautiful illustration, but I can't show that to you. If you have it, you can. It's called, are you ready? It's called You Are, I'm sorry. You would like me to read the Sisterhood poem.
Yes, it.
Yes, I didn't know what order we were going, so I have to.
So I will read it now in Hebrew till you find it, okay?
That sounds great. That sounds perfect.
I will read it in Hebrew, okay? This is what I read.
Okay.
אחיות לנצח. That's a motorcycle was passing here. אחיות לנצח. תמיד בליבי ולעולם אינך רחוקה ממחשבותיי. בואי, הניחי את ראשך על כתפי, ידידתי חמודה ויקרה. נדבר על דבר חסר ערך ונחגוג סיום לפרשה. את זקוקה לסוף שבוע הזה. האהבה שלי אלייך מוחשית, היא הולכת ומעמיקה מדי יום. זכרי תמיד, הביטי בעיניי, בחני את ליבי, כשמחשבות חשוכות פוגעות בדרכך. בואי נחפש את שביל המילים העדינות, מחשבות שהשארת כשדיברנו לאחרונה, כשהתקרבלנו במרחב נעים משלנו, שם נשמותינו בילו זמן מלא שמחה. דמעות של אושר מעוותות כעת את עינינו, האהבה חובקת אותנו, עוטפת אותנו, בתוך גלימה חמה ומקבלת פנינו. This is from מהסתיו 2020. Are you ready, Jill, for the version English?
I have other poems because I didn't know which order we were going.
Okay, never mind. You can read whatever you want. I give you a free whatever you want, okay, because people will understand you good. Even that you don't read mine. But
here
maybe you go down because we see half of your face.
This is a special, how about here?
Okay, here? Perfect. Good. Yes, okay. And if you come closer to the computer, it will be better. Then we'll hear you better. So you try to fix it.
How's that?
More to the left, more to the left. Okay, better. Now it's good. Now it's okay. Here. Perfect.
Okay. This poem is called You Are the Poem, shared with love for all who wait. You are the poem. I will wait for you. You are the poem that fills my heart each and every morning. I sip my coffee from our mismatched shelf of mugs, preferring to select your rooster mug with the tiny chip. Remember, you had bent down to place sweet kisses upon my rosy lips, and it slipped from my grasp. I keep myself warm, bundled deep within your sweaters, and nourish my spirit from the pages of your letters. You are the dream that I will awaken from when I feel your true kiss upon my cheek. Come home safe to me. Jill Sharon Kimmelman, 2009.
Thank you, Jill, because this poem I was translating. I have this version in Hebrew. I will read it. I was. This one you called You Are the Poet, right? You are the poem.
You are the poem, yes.
אתה השיר. Yeah, you are the poem. אתה השיר, אני אחכה לך. אתה השיר הממלא את ליבי כל בוקר. אני לוגמת את הקפה שלי ממדף הספלים שאינו תואם. העדיף לבחור את ספל התרנגול שלך עם השבב הזעיר. זוכר? התכופפת כדי להניח נשיקות מתוקות על שפתיי הוורודות, והן החליקו מאחיזתי. אני מחממת את עצמי בחבילות עמוק בתוך הסוודרים שלך. תזין את רוחי בדפי מכתביך. אתה החלום שהתעורר לתוכו, כשארגיש את הנשיקות האיכותיות שלך, האמיתיות שלך, על חיי. חזור הביתה בשלום אליי. So this is, I read it from what I translated before, and now I will say to you about what do you feel this time, Corona time at the United States, how it is in your place?
It's frightening. We have the #1 amount of positive cases and the #1 amount of deaths in the world. I'm not going to go into the politics. I'm simply going to say that with a new president and vice president who is making this the #1 priority above everything is to get a virus in place, our lives will be changing in January. And that is the greatest gift of all. For me, being sheltered in place was such a normal thing that aspect of life didn't change very much for me. I'm not well, and so being home with my husband, being home with our home health aide when my husband isn't here, that didn't change. That I was used to. So I'm not going stir crazy in the house like some people. I am used to being at home, and believe it or not, and I don't know why, but since Corona, I have been writing a great deal more than what I would consider the normal precedent. I'm writing all the time, but my work is centered around finding great beauty in things that you would normally overlook. I want people to celebrate their blessings. I want people to look and see for just a few moments that in these ever darkening times, and there's no doubt that that's what we're all living in, ever darkening times, there is light at the end of the proverbial tunnel, and there is beauty if we keep our eyes open. And that's the reason why I call my Facebook page You Are the Poem. And eventually, when I have a website, it will be called You Are the Poem. And my husband and I, Tim, are designing a note card box where each note card will be 2 designs, each box. There will be different categories, and in each one of a dozen, you get 6 of each design. And those will be timeless love, appetites, which would cover foodies as well as other kinds of appetites, and flowers. And it's going to be quite beautiful. And the donation will be 10% to each of the charities we've chosen. So for me, the Corona time has been a time of introspection, reflection, new projects, a great deal of recognition I never ever expected. And the work that's come out of this period of time and the work that continues just gets better and better. And I can judge that by my reviews, but also by my own burgeoning self-confidence. And I'm not a very self-confidence person, but the work is clearly showing me that I'm following the trail, the path that I'm supposed to be on. It's my job, as it's every poet in the world, to have a collective goal, to use the gift and blessing of our poets' voices to make the point that all is not gone, all is not this is not a forever time, and we learn to celebrate our blessings, however tiny they may be, every day. If we keep our eyes open, we see them. So, as poets, we should have a collective goal throughout our global family. We should all make an effort not to bemoan the sadness of Corona, but to celebrate the things that are still present, even as we live through this horrible time of the virus. So my
Thank you,
work,
thank you. I want to say something in Hebrew to the audience.
please.
אני רוצה לומר שג'יל מספרת שהתקופה של הקורונה דווקא עשתה לה טוב, היא אומרת שלמרות שזה מצב קשה מאוד, והיא כנראה מהמצביעים של ביידן, והיא מחכה כבר לשינוי שיבוא בחודש ינואר, היא ממש מרגישה שזו תקופה של פריחה בעבורה, היא הולכת להוציא ספר עם הרבה פרקים של פריחה ושל שגשוג, והיא רואה דווקא בתקופה הזאת של ההתכנסות, תקופה חשובה, והיא חושבת שיש אור בקצה המנהרה, ויהיה יותר טוב אחר כך. היא הייתה בעצם גם בחייה, היא הייתה אישה מאוד מאוד מיוחדת, והיא הייתה גם שפית, ויש לה המון כישורים, יש לה כישורים רבים, אפשר לומר. זה שהיא כרגע במשקפיים, וזה שיש לה כנראה, היא סיפרה לי קודם לפני השידור שהיא נפגעה באיזושהי צורה, היא חולה באיזושהי מחלת כנראה ניוון, ולכן התנועות האלה הבלתי רצוניות, ואני שמחה לראיין אותה, שמחה לשמוע את הדברים מפיה, ויש, there are some people that are writing us comments during the interview, I will read few of them. I will say that we have viewers from Bulgaria, we have Hanita Rosen, she said that you are very, very nice poet, she loved your poem, Hanita said to me that in the comment.
How wonderful.
Caroline is from France, she's viewing us. Rafaela Vardi is from Israel. She is also writing you that she is very happy to see this interview. Vislav Sokovsky from Poland is also watching us, even that he doesn't understand anything. He's watching and he's very happy to see. So we are having audience that even doesn't understand that they are feeling the feelings they have. The feeling is okay. Even Monica, my cousin from Poland, is watching. And
how exciting!
So we are international now. You have to be very happy. And you know, I want to tell something to the audience in Hebrew also.
Yes.
לפני השידור, בשש ככה בערב, אני כמעט שכחתי שיש לי שידור, ישבתי על הספה בסלון, ואז פתאום ג'יל שולחת לי הודעה, יש היום רעיון? ואני אומרת לעצמי, וואו, יש היום רעיון, שכחתי שיש רעיון בכלל. אומרת, לבשתי ושמתי בגדים והתאפרתי ובאתי לרעיון, וטוב שהם מזכירים לי שיש רעיון ורוצים להתראיין ורוצים להיות כאן בשידור. אז אני שמחה מאוד, ואם ויסלב סוקובסקי כותב לי בפולנית, אני לא מבינה, אז מישהו שיתרגם לי עם גוגל, אני לא מבינה מה שהוא כותב. אז אוקיי, וחניתה כותבת את רגע, חניתה, is saying that I arrived to the United States. Ayala Borton, she was living in New York, I know her from there, and now she's living in Israel. Ayala Borton, I see her again. Okay, she's happy to see and to hear the English because she I think she miss America. She's missing America. Okay, so now we go on with our interview.
I located Sisters, if you would like me to read it.
Yeah, okay, very good. I'm waiting.
Yes. Okay. And this is called Sisters, Always and Forever. Forever in my heart and never ever far from my thoughts. Come lay your head upon my shoulder, my sweet and dearest friend. We will speak of small nothings and celebrate a much needed finale to this week's much needed end. My love for you is palpable. It grows deeper every day. Always remember, gaze into my eyes, examine my heart. When dark thoughts mar your way, come seek that trail of gentle words, thoughts you left when we last spoke. Curl inside our cozy space where souls spend joy-filled time, and tears of bliss that mist our eyes. Love shelters us, has shrouded us inside a warm and welcome cloak. I have another sister's poem that goes along with it as a compatible piece, a companion piece. This is called Sisters Linked. This was written when two sisters of mine, friends like sisters, as we talked about, were quite ill. And although I could not be there for them in person, this is what I wrote. Sisters Linked. Someone very special to me is hurting. She asks, do you have my back, dear ones? Yes, my precious sister, we answer in chorus. We are here for you, always here for you. A family of your beloved sisters, lifting you upon our backs to Lourdes, to Mecca, and beyond, anywhere to secure a healing answer. We have your back. If your feet cannot carry you, a physical distance prevents us from holding your flesh, we are there forever, warming your skin, tickling you, to coax those sweet, familiar smiles. Our love for our hurting sister is beyond measure and forever. Yes, my precious sister, you are loved, always loved. Sisters linked, now and forever.
Jill, who are the sisters? They have names?
Yes, the first is named Lori, and she lives in Arizona.
Oh, wow. You know, I was in Arizona. I was in Arizona one summer.
To see the Grand Canyon?
Yes, I did the Grand Canyon. I was in Arizona. I was what is the capital there?
The Arizona. What is the question again?
The big city. What is the big city?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. I was near Phoenix in a little place, and we were traveling down. It was a summer. It was very nice there. Yes. So you have a friend from Arizona. Yes. Okay.
And there's Tucson, and there's Scottsdale, and there's Sedona is where John McCain, our late elder statesman, he passed away, and he was from Sedona.
Sedona, it's a very beautiful place with the red rocks.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So my friend Lori is from the area around Tucson, and she has a beautiful ranch there. And though it's always been my dream on my bucket list since I was 4 years old to go to Venice, I know that won't be possible with my health and my husband's. So she has invited us to come and stay, and we will visit with her. And that's number one on our list. So
Yes.
my friend Lori and I are very, very close. Then I have a friend, her name is Lynette. She has been through just absolute hell when it comes to her health. And she lives in Michigan. And she and my husband speak frequently because he worked in Michigan, and they talk about the places they both enjoy visiting. So we're very close, and she's very kind. And she's the second sister. Then Annette, who I spoke about earlier, she does not have health problems. She is simply my dearest, dearest in my heart friend, and she was with me this weekend. So that's three. And there are two others who mean the world to me. And I don't have their permission to share their names. So I'll simply say I have five ladies in my life. Without them, I don't know what I would do. They are there for the celebratory moments. They are there for the sad moments. And someday we will meet, whether it be in this life or the next.
So you are saying about friends that you didn't meet. You are just
Yes,
you
we
know
are
them
that
from the
close.
internet.
Now, Annette, I met for the first time this weekend. She came for 5.5 hours. She traveled so that she and I could have Thanksgiving together, and we
Wow,
could work
very
on our,
very touching. Yes, very
yes,
nice.
we could work on
So
our book together.
very nice. Yes, very
And
nice.
I have another friend, and in the South, in the United States, everyone always has a second name. So it could be Bobby Joe or Donna Lynn or Ellen Joy. They always have a second name. So my dear friend Donna Lynn and I have become very close on the telephone and by writing.
Very nice. I'm Jill. I understand that you find the friends in the net, and you are meeting them. And you said that the last weekend you met somebody from the
Yes,
this.
Annette.
So what I'm saying that the internet is very important to you.
It is, and I never thought it would be because I thought that only the people I knew in real life, not that this isn't real, but you know what I mean, people in person in front of
Mhm.
you. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
What I
Okay.
did
Thank you.
not realize was there's truly a bond that when you share something as strong as a love of poetry, or you share a love of a different human being, or you just simply click in such a
Mhm.
way that you feel like you've been friends for a long, long time,
Very
those
nice, very
people
nice,
are
Jill. I want to
very
go on. I want to continue, and I want to
sure.
read I want to read more poem of you. I don't have many of your poem because
I
I
have
got a
lots.
scroll that I translated. But the next poem is I will read it, and after I want to speak about it with you. This is
I
called
believe that the next
Hagda.
poem is Mantras for Nobody. Is that the one you were thinking of?
No, it was um, it's erotic
Dancing,
poem, I think. The
dancing in the
erotic poem.
kitchen.
I
Dancing
don't
in
know
the
if it's done
kitchen.
in the kitchen. It's a pleasure of love. I think something like that.
I have everything you want. You just need to tell me what you'd like me to read next. I have everything.
I just read this poem in Hebrew. הגדרת תענוגות האהבה. טעימה מרעידה כמו נפילה חופשית מוגזמת, מתוקה יותר מכל משקאות הליקר על הלשון, מפוארת ככמהין לבן, מזויפת בתוך שעה, קילומטר משביל יער צפוף ומסולסל, עדינה מבוסם, מאדמה וטעמה נשגב. I think it's about longing to love, to passion. That's what I feel in this poem. You understand me?
Yes. Would that be until we meet again, or would that be dancing in the kitchen? You just need to tell me which poem, and I have them all.
I don't think that it doesn't matter because everybody will understand what you say in English. So
Okay.
you can read another poem, it's going to be okay. If you are not ready because you don't have any time to look to
this
search.
way, I have a poem.
Okay, so I'm you can read.
Dancing in the Kitchen, and everyone loves this poem. It's quite, I will say, it took 28 hours to write. I wrote the beginning and had no idea where to go from there. I took a long walk. I thought a lot. I think I probably fell asleep.
If you go to the middle, it's better because I see you in the right side. That's good. Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dancing in the Kitchen is everyone's favorite poem, although I have a new favorite, which I'll share with you later. Okay. Dancing in the Kitchen is accompanied by one of the most beautiful portraits. It's a wedding portrait from 1939. It's my own grandparents' wedding portrait. Shoshana, do you have that picture? Can you show it?
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Dancing in the Kitchen is a true story. And I'll start off by saying, Dancing in the Kitchen.
It's two girls. Two girls though? Two girls?
No, I've read those. I've read both of those.
Okay.
This is the story of a 60-year marriage. Dancing in the Kitchen. They dance in the kitchen like movie stars from 1939. With her eyes closed, she imagines herself to be this man's siren, all heady scents, fiery hair, and throaty whispers. She could be a star of the silver screen, alabaster wrists and swan neck, flashing emeralds and rubies, the whisper of her caresses delivered by hands in long satin gloves. With his eyes shut, he could be the UPS man. 25 years old, in summer shorts, flashing a devil of a smile. His lips deliver a commanding brush of sea-deep kisses that rock her from her toes to her cerebellum and back again. There is music, a solo saxophone drifting in through the open windows, soul stirring on a cool and scented breeze. Icy cocktails are produced. As smooth as slipping skin, he removes her gloves, allowing her fingers to graze the rim of her frosted glass. Pluck a briny, glistening olive and place it between his teeth.
Thank you.
It's a shabby room, scuffed up floors, a patched screen door, and countertops in avocado green. He washes, she dries. That's the way it's always been. Sweet tea and iced cold beer to toast another perfect sunset, as if he had arranged it all just for her pleasure. His face crinkles in that funny, lopsided smile she knows so well. He fiddles with an old black radio. Slow, sweet jazz fills the room, spilling into every corner. Crossing the kitchen, he takes her hand. 60 years of Saturday nights, still dancing in the kitchen.
Nice. Thank you very much. זהו השיר שהייתה מועמדת לזכות בפרס כלשהו, אבל היא לא זכתה, אבל לא משנה. אבל היא חשה גאווה, גם להיות כאילו מועמד למשהו, זה גם עושה את זה יותר חזק. תשימו לב שגם מקוראת את השירים מהטלפון, זה גם מחוברת מאוד לאינטרנט, מחוברת לחברים שלה שהיא לא פוגשת אותם, וזה רק מראה גם קצת משהו על האדם בעולם המודרני, גם החיבור שלו בעצם, יש פה גם המון בדידות, אנחנו בעצם אולי עושים גם סוג של מצווה שאנחנו מערכים, כשאני מערכת אותה פה עכשיו, אתם מקשיבים, ואני רואה את האנשים שמגיבים פה לזה, ואני רואה פה את חנית הרוזן שכבר כותבת Dancing in a Kitchen, Charming, Romantic, True Story in Poetry. It was a poem, a long story, a long poem. Rafaela Vardi, she wrote beautiful. People are enjoying, and even Rafaela translated what said the Polish poet. She said, my poem, my poetry is you. So,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Thank you.
So he's very happy. He's enjoying now.
Okay.
Okay. So I will read another poem in Hebrew from you, because everybody thinks that you're writing long poem, but you have a short poem also.
Sure.
This poem is called. I was reading this poem about the תענוגות האהבה. אני חושבת שאני אחזור דווקא לקרוא את השיר הזה. כי בתוך כשהיא קראה את השיר הארוך שלה, השיר הזה, השיר הקצר שלה, לדעתי הוא הרבה יותר טוב מאשר השיר הארוכה, כי זה הולך, אנחנו לפעמים מאבדים את הריכוז שאנחנו בעצם, בשיר הזה שהיא שלחה את השיר הזה, לתרגם את השיר הזה, תענוגות האהבה, הגדרת התענוגות של האהבה, אני בכוונה עושה את זה, שאני מדברת אתכם עכשיו קצת להתרענן כאילו מהקטע שהיא מדברת בלי הפסקה, אני אקרא את זה שוב, אחר כך יש עוד שיר אחד שאני צריכה לקרוא אותו, טעימה מרעידה כמו נפילה חופשית מוגזמת, מתוקה יותר מכל משקאות הליקר על הלשון, וזה בעצם, שאני בעצם מרגישה את ההרגשה הזאת של האהבה, זה כמו ליפול נפילה חופשית מוגזמת, הנה זה געגועים של אישה, מהבדידות שלה, מתוך התשוקות שלה, אבל אני מספרת גם שיש לה רק חברות, מפוארת ככמהין לבן, מזויפת בתוך שעה, קילומטר משביל יער צפוף ומסולסל, עדינה מבוסם, מאדמה וטעמה נשגב, על תענוגות האהבה. עכשיו אני חושבת את עצמי, זה סוג של תענוגות האהבה, והאם היא מגדרית אצלה. זה בינינו. מנטרות לאף אחד. Now I will read מנטרות לאף אחד, כי this is also a very important poem of you, I think. שמי מעולם לא היה המנטרה שלך. מעולם לא חגג בשיר, לא נכתב בכרטיסי פשטן לבן, או מסורטט על גבי כוסית עוגה בצנצנת ורודה. מדוע אם כן אתה מחזיק אותי קשורה? עדיין קשורה אליך בחבל משי. התחרה הגוסמטרית, הלוחשת שלך, קומץ הבטחות, רגע בודד, עומס של אדרנלין, מתוק, שותה דרך הזיכרונות הסבוכים שלי באור, ואני יודעת שסוף סוף מצאתי את הדרך החוצה, עכשיו אני שרה מנטרות משלי. לדעתי הדרך שלה החוצה זה הייתה בעצם בחיבור שלה לאינטרנט, בחיבור שלה לעולם אחר ולחברים אחרים, והיא בזה מצליחה לברוח מהעולם שלה, וכנראה היא מאוד מאוד, איך אומרים, יש לה את העולם השמרני. Can you, I was trying to explain something about what I was reading, and I think that that's the last poem that I wrote. It was, you are talking to a man. You are not your mantra. This is
the mantra poem.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is for the man you wrote it?
I didn't write it personally. I just wrote it, but I believe that it's about empowerment. I believe that it's a love poem, but it's also about empowerment, because it's a woman who's capable of walking away rather than settling. And too many people settle. They just figure this is the best it's going to be, so I'll just live with it. And I don't believe in that. I believe that we all deserve the best life we can have. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So the mantras poem, I'll be happy to share, unless you just read that.
I read it. I read the mantra poem. Yeah, okay, now I'm waiting for you to read it. Yes, I want you to read it.
I'll read it in English. Yes. We'll try something different.
This is a feminism. This poem is a feminist poem.
It is a feminist poem. You're absolutely right. Okay, it's a short poem also. Okay.
It's good. I like short poems.
Yes. Thank you. It's called Mantras for Nobody. My name has never been your mantra, never celebrated in song, not scribbled across cards of crisp white linen, or scrawled atop a cupcake in pink glitter frosting. Why then do you keep me tethered, still bound to you with silken ropes, your whispered gossamer lace handful of cheap promises? A single moment, a rush of sweet adrenaline swims through the muck of my tangled in skin memories, and I know that at last I have found my way out. Now I sing my own mantras.
Very good. I love this poem. This is a very good poem. I think that this one is best for what you because you are saying a say there. You are saying some say, some women power. Yes, that is really. I think that it's, you know, when you say that you are saying it without frightened. That is the best way to say it. And I think you are encouraging women, and you are supporting women. But what I heard this all the interview, I hear that you are having friends, that you are especially love the women around you. You want the women power around you, and you are also this is important to you, I think.
I'm also very, very happily married. And I think that having my husband as supportive as he is, and matching poems to potential journals and literary magazines has made a huge difference in the response that I get from editors. He has this ability to match the right pieces to the right periodicals. So I do the writing and he does the business part, and we seem to be getting a good response.
Yes, good, very good. Have you published a book? Have you published a book before?
Not yet. I'm working on 3. I have 3 coming out this year, and those will be my 3 first.
Yeah.
I can talk to
Can you tell me, okay, Jill, can you tell me how much is going to cost one book?
I can tell you about my first book that's coming out on May the 1st.
Okay.
It's going to be with my protege. Her name is Elizabeth. She is an extraordinary young person. She is only 13 years old. You would never, ever know it from her poetry, from her poise, from her demeanor, and from her ability to communicate so incredibly well. She is from Nigeria. She gets her talent from her father, who is also a poet, an extremely talented poet at that. Elizabeth approached me because we were both in Sensibility. Sensibility was a beautifully launched on October 15th. It came from 20 poets, 84 poets, 20 different countries, and hundreds.
You're talking about anthology.
Sensibility. Yes, it was an anthology.
Talking about anthology. You are going to be in anthology?
This one was over. This one was launched in October. That's how Elizabeth and I met. I wrote the back cover for Sensibility, and they used it in all their marketing. So I wrote the back cover, and I had 3 poems in Sensibility. She had 1 poem in Sensibility. She discovered me on her own.
How many poems do you have in this?
In Sensibility, I have 3.
And how many poets there? How many poets there?
Then there's another anthology that just came out called Bridge from Eric Productions, and I have 3 poems in Bridge. So I'm working on another entry for an anthology. And then just the other day, I had a poem/recipe that I'd love to share with everyone, that was accepted on a website about food and poetry. So that was pretty exciting. So I always have things going on.
I think that this will be the last poem that we can hear, because it's almost 52 minutes. And okay.
Would you tell me what you'd like to hear last, and I'll be happy to read it.
I think one short story was focus, and was a say. I think it's better.
The coffee poem, or I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'm saying about. I prefer that you say a short story, a short poem with a say, something that will remain to think about it after.
I'll read this one it's short. This is written for Elizabeth, my Nigerian protege. And we will be writing a book together, and that book is coming out on May the 1st. And it's a story that's going to...
I want to say to you something. You know, you're talking about a Nigerian. I will tell you from my experience. Look.
Yes.
I also, I think that this is the time of the corona, that everybody's at home and everybody is using the internet.
Yes.
So I had also this. I think that I'm more advanced about, because I have books. I wrote books before, and I published book, and I'm also a publisher in Israel. Mm-hmm. I published over 100 poems, book, and a novel, and I did many things in Israel. Mm-hmm. And when in the corona time something happened to people around the world, they were collaborating, and they were meeting other people, and they started to write together. Yes. And that happened to me also. But I think that because I wanted to to contribute, because I'm a publisher, and I contribute to a young poet in Nigeria. he was convincing me to publish the book. It was the book that I made with him. I gave him all the place in the book, and I sent the book to Nigeria. But I think it's typical to this time. You listen to me, Jill, that
Mm-hmm.
people are from the small, the lack country. They want ask us to help them. It's very typical to this time, and so
Well,
we are
our
helping them.
publisher is in the Philippines. Our publisher is Io Gutierrez.
Yeah, because people of these countries are looking to do something with them, and they found you also. They found you on the way to make it. I didn't put the. I was investing myself in this poem book, and I was putting my efforts. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. I sent him also a few copies in the post, and it was out of voluntary. I feel that I was volunteering, and somebody else, like I was sending it to him because I was thinking that maybe it's going to help him a little. But I think it's typical at this time that people are looking for others to help them to go on and publish them.
I
So
think there's
also
a
many
beauty.
anthologies are coming on like that, and they put it to Amazon, and they want the people to buy it, and it's typical to this time. So I think the last poem that we hear from you, you can give us the last poem.
Is there one that you'd like me to share,
No,
or is
I
there
don't know all
one?
the poems of you. Just choose one.
Okay, I have one. It's my newest poem. I wrote it for my mother, and it's a poem that I'm very, very proud of. It has not yet been published, although I have put it on my site. Um, it is called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Our
This
first.
one. Yes, I see. It's a long poem. You can read it. This is
Are you
it's a long poem.
sure?
Okay,
I
it's a long.
love this poem.
Okay,
Okay.
but Jill, come closer to the microphone because it's a long poem, and see if you're not going to be listened very good, it will be waste time.
How's
Come
that?
closer because it's a beautiful poem. I know this poem. Okay,
How's
come
that?
closer. That's
Yes?
good. That's good.
Okay. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, our first book club for my mom. I found this book when I turned 9. Sunburned, pool wet is how I came across it for the very first time. I was quoting whole passages from memory at 10, loving that sad little family, reading it over and over again and again. Francie was sweet, a girl of my age, like no one I knew, so much more than a character on a page. She was a latchkey child before the term was ever known. No warm winter coat for the 12-block trip from school to home. Her daddy was an immigrant from Ireland. He'd fled. His songs, his loves were songs and liquor. His once lovely wife, and tucking his precious girl into bed. Francie would hear him coming, an unmistakable baritone, charming porch sitters and well wishers on his nightly walk home. I love this book. Mourn the loss of that precious paperback found on a bookshelf in our home on that hot summer afternoon so many, many years ago. It sat next to a curling vine of ivy, variegated a healthy green. just waiting for me to find and devour, dwell within its 200 pages and dream, dream, and dream. Transported to Brooklyn and Francie's home, a ticking clock marked the hours. Did my mom read it first? Did she place it there for me to find? Does she recall our solemn discussions about Francie, her Irish immigrant waiter father? His accented crooning made her bairn's heart leap and skip a beat every time she heard his plaintive, sweet Adeline coming down the street. We spoke for days of Francie's mother, old before her time, energy drained, exhausted body and soul, no twinkle left in her violet eyes, an ancient love for her Johnny in a language of resigned sighs. She scrubbed the floors of rich women until glossed, gleaming, and shining, hurried home to her precious girl. That nighttime walk was when she did her crying. She worried about leaving her daughter alone each and every night. The nights when Johnny stopped for a brew or two, Francie ate cold meals, no milk to make her grow. Her mother was pretty once herself, softly curling locks of chestnut and red. Her mostly drunken husband was once a charming lad. His baritone once made her own heart sing, still deep within, heart bells still ring. I recall those times with a fondness I carry within. Pray she still can, our first of hundred shared. It was the moment us began. Our first book club, always remembered with great joy. Thank you, Shosh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jill. I really think that it was special to talk to you and to know you because you are born from in a way, you are born in this period. And I really thank you for this 1 hour that we spent together.
May I say something? My name, Jill Sharon, Jill
yeah.
Is actually in Hebrew for Moses's mother, Yocheved. My name in Hebrew is Yocheved Shana, mother of Moses, and Shana means pretty. So my name is Yocheved Shana.
Yocheved, okay. Okay, Yocheved, תודה רבה.
She was the
Yocheved,
mother
תודה
of
רבה.
Moses.
And I thank you very much. And I wish that you receive books, more books, not in anthology, but your own book.
Exactly.
And I wish you luck in the other. And you do. I think that you have to do your first book.
My first book for me alone is coming out on my birthday, August 4th, 2021. And it's my book, and it's a coffee table book with full color art.
Okay, thank you very much. And Yocheved, Shana Meidele, and good night. Good night to you.
Good night, Shosh. Thank you.
Good night. Bye.